Does a wave of fear come over you when you're facing the unknown? Can you think of a time you had a great idea of how to tackle a project, and then whack! The what ifs creep in and they take over. What if I fail? What if I lose it all? What if I look like a fool? What if she says no? My entire life, the what ifs have hit. What if I don't like college? What if I don't like being a cop? What if she doesn't want to marry me? What if I don't excel as a fireman? What if I retire and don't end up invested in real estate? What if I mortgage my house to open a business and that business fails? What ifs have chased me my entire life. But you know what I found out about them? I found out that what ifs don't bite as hard as I imagine they do. For example, I didn't like college, so I made the choice that it wasn't for me, and I went in another direction. I became a police officer. I loved being a police officer, but I hated the politics of it. Quotas are real, by the way. So I chose to roll over to the fire department. I excelled there, and I became a lieutenant. Real estate's been wonderful to me. And I'm married for 24 years. She said yes! My point is that I, like you, have what ifs, and that those what ifs will never go away. They come from our negative bias, our minds just trying to make sure we survive. I have over time found ways to embrace the what ifs and to outsmart them. And here are a few ways that I've found to do that. The first, I embrace the uncertainty and treat it like a puzzle. I become excited about solving the challenges that it brings with it. The more focused I became on solving the challenges, the less fear I had of the uncertainty. So I started attacking every challenge, regardless of how big or how small. I was attacking them in the same manner. And when I solved that problem, I would celebrate the win. Yes, I did it. And this allowed me to realize that the what ifs, they weren't as powerful as I made them out to be. Next thing I would do, I would ask if the what ifs were real. I treat what ifs like I treat fear, because the what ifs are just another form of fear. And what I mean by that is I treat fear and what ifs the same way. When those what ifs conjure up, I take a second, I slow down, and I ask, is there something to this? It's no different than when you're driving down the highway or you're getting on the highway and there's that yield sign there. That yield sign means slow down for a second, look to your left, look to your right, make sure it's safe to proceed, and then proceed. I do the same thing with my what ifs. I do the same thing when fear conjures up inside of me. I slow down for a second. Maybe something's up with this. Maybe it's not. But I analyze it. I think about it for a second. And I'm in the best possible position I can be in. So I keep moving forward. You see, what happens is we make up stories of what might happen way off into the future. And that's what the what ifs are doing. But I know that our subconscious picks up on the things that our conscious mind may not. And that's why I slow down. That's why I ask, is this real or not? Am I in the best possible position? So that when the what ifs come, I treat it just like a yield sign. I can remember a time I was in PD. This is when I was going from PD to FD. And the what ifs were rearing their head like crazy. I'm standing inside headquarters of NYPD. I was down there I was on administrative task. They ended up taking a whole bunch of guys that were on the sergeant's exam. They put them in the UF 250 program, and we had to do data entry for UF 250s, which is stop, question, and frisk reports. more political stuff that we don't have to get into. But I was standing in headquarters and the what ifs came up. What if you go to the fire department and you don't like it? What if you go to the fire department and you fail out? You could flunk out of the academy. And if I flunk out of the academy, I don't get to go back to the police department. I'm out of my ass. With a family. Now what do I do? What if the fire department is not what you thought it is? Like what? Like all of these what ifs are bubbling up. What if you just stay in the police department? You know you're going to be getting promoted to sergeant. You can just spend a little bit of time, study, you'll become a lieutenant and a captain in no time. The what ifs were strong. I look at that uncertainty of rolling over to the fire department as an adventure now. I attack my what ifs as an adventure. What am I going to learn from this? It's a new chapter opening up in my life. I did the same thing when I was opening up. I did the same thing with my wife when I was opening up my business. We had to take a second mortgage out on our house. The what ifs, hundreds of what ifs in that process. Hundreds of what ifs bubbled up. And I sat down with the wife and we picked off each what if. We paid attention to the what ifs. We confronted them head on. And I didn't let the what ifs. What if you take the mortgage out on your house and the business fails and now you lose your house? Woo, that's a pretty big what if. But I turned that what if. What if I'm successful? What if I actually give the moms a gift in building a bigger connection with their kids? Right? Hundreds of what ifs would pop up. But those times were filled with remarkable experiences that I would never have had if I would have listened to the what ifs. And that's why you attack what ifs head on. You shine a light on them and you don't let them bully you. Another way I outsmarted the what ifs is I turned it on its head. And I talked about this a little bit just now. I reversed the what if. What if I have a tremendous impact? What if my center provides moms with a connection to their little ones, right? What if this leads to something amazing? I'm 20 years in the making now. 20 years in the making. I started out with a Mommy and Me center, and that center became a preschool. That preschool has expanded. I've doubled my footprint. Amazing things have happened. Amazing relationships have been built, both with ourselves and the community, ourselves and the teachers. Clients passing by each other every day have built relationships. Those kids are going to school now together. We have alumni out there in the college world. We've been around so long. It's an amazing venture that, holy cow, I could never imagine. No what if could ever prepare me for the success that we've had. And I would have never had that success if I let the what ifs bully me. Amazing. Another what if, right? I'm a pretty introverted person. You may not get that here, but I don't really put myself out there as much as I feel like I should. I'm kind of like in my shell. And somebody once put up a post on a Facebook group that I'm in. And he said, do you guys want to get together and talk about this book? And I raised my hand and I was like, yeah, I'll get together. It was one of the strongest relationships I've ever built. I still have it now. And that wouldn't have happened if I let the what ifs in. The what ifs bullied me a lot in my younger years, and now, excuse me, and now I just don't let them in. I treat the what ifs as, what if I'm successful? What if this works? What if something good comes out of this? That's the only what ifs I let in now. But it took me a long time to get to that space. It's not easy. And I still get attacked with what ifs, and I still have what ifs, but I am able to repel them much easier now than I was years ago. But it's taken a lot of practice, a lot of experience, and a lot of looking back at, oh, you know what? I didn't let that what if in. And an amazing thing happened. So the what if is just fogging the light. Last thing I want to touch upon before we jump out of here is focusing on the present moment has helped me a bunch. So focusing on the present moment helps me take actionable steps. And taking those actionable steps counter the overwhelming feeling I get when I let the what ifs run away with my thoughts and projecting fear of the future on me. When I focus on what may happen, I feel overwhelmed. And when I'm taking action, there's no time for the what ifs to take root. Thriving in uncertainty is about cultivating a mindset that allows you to see the unknown as an opportunity for growth. You can reframe fear into excitement and limitations into possibilities. It's up to you to do, though. Only you can do it. Are you up for the challenge? If you're one of us, you certainly are. Because I know that you live up top in the numerator and not down in the denominator. I want you to go out there today and be unstoppable and absolutely crush your day. I love spending time with you guys. Have a very blessed day.